A very wonderful morning, class 9. Welcome back in English class. In the previous video, we have studied the introduction of lesson number 3, The Little Girl, written by Catherine Mansfield. And in today's video, we will go through the text. And I hope you will better understand this lesson while reading.
Now, the theme of this story is the relationship between children and their parents. And the writer, Catherine Mansfield, wants to tell us that children share a very important bond of love with their parents. Although when children are small, when they are young, they do not feel that their parents love them because their parents are strict and many actions of the parents seem unjustified. But as children grow up, they realize that their parents did all the acts that were beneficial for the children. The parents were concerned for them, and beneath the strictness lies a heart full of love for the children. And this bond of love between the parents and their children has been highlighted through this story. Let us read the story. Now here, do you feel you know your parents better now than when you were much younger? Perhaps you now understand the reasons for some of their actions that used to upset you earlier. When we are small, when we are very small, we do not know why our parents are being strict with us. But as we grow older, we become mature and we realize why they were being strict with us. And when we realize that thing, then we also realize that our parents love us. So even you, all the children, you all can also relate to this. You all can also feel that when you were younger than what you are at present, the actions that your parents did, the strictness that they had towards you was for your betterment. And as you will grow older and older, you will realize that in the past, whatever acts your parents did were for your betterment, and in fact, they really love you. This story about a little girl whose feelings for her father change from fear to understanding will probably find an echo in every home. Now, what do we mean by will probably find an echo in every home? This means that all the children will also feel the same way. So you all can relate to the feelings of little girl Kezia. Just like Kezia is full of fear towards her father, and later on she understands his behavior and feels that he was concerned and he loved her, all the children also have the same feelings towards their parents, and so you can relate to Kezia's story very well. So now let us begin reading the story. To the little girl, he was a figure to be feared and avoided. A figure to be feared means a person to be feared. And who is the figure to be feared over here? Kezia's father. So this he refers to Kezia's father, and the little girl is Kezia. So the opening line of the story is indicating the fear that Kezia has for her father. And as she is fearful of her father, she tries to avoid him. She tries to remain away from him. Every morning before going to work, he came into her room and gave her a casual kiss, to which she responded with, "Goodbye, father." So every morning before going to work, Kezia's father would visit her in her room and give her a casual kiss. And in reply, Kezia would say, "Goodbye, father." So this action of Kezia's father indicates his love for Kezia. And there was a glad sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage growing fainter and fainter down the long road. Carriage is like a horse cart, which was a means of conveyance used in the olden times. Now, glad sense of relief means feeling relaxed. And fainter means lesser or reducing. So here we can make out the fear that Kezia has for her father. The writer says that when Kezia heard that her father's carriage was going away from home, he was leaving home, and the sounds became fainter and fainter. That means that means the sounds reduced, Kezia would have a sense of relaxation. She would feel relieved that her father had left. Now, why did she feel relieved? Because she feared her father. She was afraid of him, and so she was relieved when he left the home. In the evening, when he came home, she stood near the staircase and heard his loud voice in the hall. Now, in the evening, when Kezia's father would return home, she heard his loud voice, and this loud voice again made her feel afraid of him. And what did her father say? "Bring my tea into the drawing room. Hasn't the paper come yet? Mother, go and see if my paper's out there, and bring me my slippers." So, just as Kezia's father returned home, he will start ordering all different things. He would say that bring my tea into the drawing room. He wanted his tea. He wanted the newspaper. He would ask his mother to go and see if the newspaper was there outside the house, and he would ask her to get him his slippers also. And then further, Kezia, mother would call to her, "If you're a good girl, you can come down and take off father's boots." So Kezia's mother would call out to her and ask her to remove her father's boots. Slowly, the girl would slip down the stairs, more slowly still across the hall, and push open the drawing room door. Slip down means come down quietly and unwillingly. So again we see Kezia's fear for her father. That is why she would come down the stairs quietly and unwillingly. Unwillingly because she did not want to face her father. She feared him. By the time he had his spectacles on and looked at her over them in a way that was terrifying to the little girl. Now just imagine, Kezia's father is sitting in the drawing room on the sofa and he is wearing his spectacles and he is looking at Kezia over the spectacles. Now the way in which he looked at her terrified her. She was horrified because maybe it seemed to her that he was staring at her. "Well, Kezia, hurry up and pull off these boots and take them outside. Have you been a good girl today?" Now Kezia was reluctant. She was slow in her motion. And so her father would tell her to hurry up and remove his boots and keep them out of the room. And then he would ask her that, was she a good girl that day? And Kezia replied, "I don't know, father." So why is she stammering? Because she is not confident. You are not confident when you have any feeling of fear. You don't know? If you stutter like that, mother will have to take you to the doctor. Stutter means to stammer, to speak with pauses. So here, Kezia's father is copying her and he also stammers like she did, and he says that if she would stammer like that, then mother would have to take her to the doctor for a checkup. She never stuttered with other people, had quite given it up, but only with father because then she was trying so hard to say the words properly. Given it up means stopped doing it, and trying so hard means making a lot of effort. Now here the writer tells us that Kezia never stammered while she spoke to other people. It was only when she talked to her father that she felt and she lacked confidence, and that is why she tried very hard to speak properly and she stammered. "What's the matter? What are you looking so wretched about?" Wretched means unhappy, sad. "Mother, I wish you taught this child not to appear on the brink of suicide." On the brink of suicide means about to commit suicide, and suicide is to kill oneself. "Here, Kezia, carry my teacup back to the table carefully." Now, when Kezia's father looks at her, he feels that something is wrong with her and he asks her that why she's so unhappy. And then he tells to the mother that she should teach Kezia to behave in a better way and she should not appear that she is so unhappy that she is about to end her life. So he wants to say that Kezia seemed to be so unhappy with her life that it seemed that she did not want to live any longer. He was so big, his hands and his neck, especially his mouth when he yawned. Thinking about him alone was like thinking about a giant. Now here, this is the feeling, this is the vision that Kezia has for her father. She feels that her father was so big, he was just like a giant. And then the writer says that Kezia felt that his hands and his neck and his mouth were all so huge, especially when he yawned. It seemed as if he was a huge monster. And then whenever Kezia thought about her father, she felt that she was thinking about a giant. On Sunday afternoons, grandmother sent her down to the drawing room to have a nice talk with father and mother. So every Sunday during the afternoon, Kezia's grandmother sent her downstairs to the drawing room in order to have a nice talk with her parents. So Kezia was supposed to behave in a nice and decent way in front of her parents, and they had a formal get-together. But the little girl always found mother reading and father stretched out on the sofa, his handkerchief on his face, his feet on one of the best cushions, sleeping soundly and snoring. Snoring is the sound produced by some people when they are asleep. So here we feel that Kezia felt a bit neglected. Every Sunday afternoon when she went to her parents to meet them in the drawing room to have a nice talk with them, they were busy doing their own things. Her mother was busy reading and her father was busy sleeping and snoring. So Kezia had this image of her parents in her mind. They did not talk with her, they did not spend time with her. On the other hand, they were busy doing their own things. Here you can see this is the vision that Kezia has about her parents. Rather than spending time with her, talking to her, discussing things with her, her mother is busy reading and her father is sleeping. So I would like to tell all parents that you should spend time with your children rather than being just busy doing your own work. She sat on a stool, gravely watched him until he woke and stretched, and asked the time, then looked at her. Gravely means seriously. So all the while Kezia's father was asleep, she would just sit on a stool and watch him carefully, till the time he would wake up and stretch his body, and then he would ask the time, and then he would look at Kezia. "Don't stare so, Kezia. You look like a little brown owl." So Kezia's father would compare Kezia to a little brown owl. He would say that Kezia was staring at him just like an owl does. One day, when she was kept indoors with a cold, her grandmother told her that father's birthday was next week and suggested she should make him a pin cushion for a gift out of a beautiful piece of yellow silk. Now Kezia was not well, she had a cold, and so she was supposed to stay at home. So her grandmother suggested to Kezia that as she was at home and her father's birthday was approaching, she could make a birthday gift for him. And her grandmother gave her an idea what to make. She suggested that Kezia should make a pin cushion for him. And she also gave her yellow colored fabric of silk to make the cushion. Laboriously, with a double cotton, the little girl stitched 3 sides. Laboriously means with a lot of effort or difficulty. Now Kezia put in a lot of effort to make the birthday gift. She used double cotton, refers to a thread, and she stitched 3 sides of the cushion. But what to fill it with? That was the question. Now Kezia had prepared the bag shape of the cushion, and yet she was supposed to stitch the 4th side. Before that she had to fill the cushion with something, and she did not know what to fill the cushion with. The grandmother was out in the garden and she wandered into mother's bedroom to look for scraps. Wandered into means went into by chance, and scraps are small pieces of cloth or paper etc. that are not needed. So old, torn pieces of paper or cloth. Now Kezia was confused that what should she use to fill the cushion with. As her grandmother was out in the garden, she was just looking for something and she reached her mother's bedroom. She was looking for some bits of paper and cloth to stuff into the cushion. On the bed table, she discovered a great many sheets of fine paper, gathered them up, tore them into tiny pieces and stuffed her case, that then sewed up the fourth side. Now Kezia is a small little girl. She is very young. She does not know so many things. Now what she did? On the bedside table, she found a heap of sheets of paper. So she just gathered all the sheets, she tore them, she made tiny pieces of the sheets and she stuffed those pieces of paper into the cushion. And then she stitched the fourth side of the cushion and she had prepared the birthday gift for her father. So many of you can relate to Kezia's act. Many children do such things unknowingly. They do not intend to create any mischief or harm anyone, but they end up doing it. Now Kezia had torn some important papers and that night there was a hue and cry in the house. Father's great speech for the Port Authority had been lost. Hue and cry means angry protest. Now there was a lot of shouting in the house because Kezia's father had prepared a speech for the Port Authority for a particular meeting and he was unable to find the speech. Now we all know where has the speech gone. It has been torn into tiny pieces and Kezia has stuffed it into the cushion. Rooms were searched, servants were questioned. Finally, mother came into Kezia's room. Now, the family searched everywhere. They asked the servants, but no one knew where the sheets of paper had gone. And finally, the mother reached Kezia's room. Kezia, I suppose you didn't see some papers on a table in our room? So Kezia's mother asks her that, did she see some papers lying on a table in her mother's room? Oh yes, she said. I tore them up for my surprise. Now here we get to see that Kezia is an innocent girl. She did not intend to harm anyone. She was just preparing her birthday gift. And so very truly she tells her mother that she found some sheets of paper and she needed them to stuff them into the cushion. So she tore them and prepared her surprise. That is the birthday gift that she has prepared for her father. So unknowingly Kezia has done a great disaster. What? Screamed mother. Come straight down to the dining room this instant. Now Kezia's mother is so furious when she comes to know that Kezia has torn the speech that her father is looking for. And so she orders Kezia to come down into the dining room at that very moment. And she was dragged down to where father was pacing to and fro, hands behind his back. Now Kezia's father is full of tension. His important document has been lost. Kezia has torn it into pieces. And so now Kezia will be scolded for the mischief that she has done. Well, he said sharply. Mother explained. He stopped and stared at the child. Did you do that? No, she whispered. Mother, go up to her room and fetch down the damned thing. See that the child's put to bed this instant. The damned thing is used to express anger at something. Now, why is Kezia's father referring to the cushion that she has prepared as a damned thing because he is angry at the cushion? Because Kezia has torn his important documents to prepare it. Now he's very angry with Kezia and he stares at her and says that, did you do that? Kezia is so scared that she's again stammering. And then Kezia's father orders the mother to go and bring that cushion downstairs and asks her to put Kezia to bed at the very moment. Crying too much to explain, she lay in the shadowed room, watching the evening light make a sad little pattern on the floor. Now Kezia wanted to explain her position. She was innocent. She did not mean to harm her father. She was just preparing a surprise birthday gift for him. Now, shadowed room means that as it was dark, there was a light outside the room which was making shadows in the room. And the sad little pattern refers to the sad atmosphere in the room. Kezia is very sad. She was happy that she was preparing a surprise for her father and he would like it. But on the other hand, she has done a disaster unknowingly. Then, father came into the room with a ruler in his hands. Now he is about to punish Kezia for the wrong act that she has done. "I'm going to beat you for this," he said. "Oh, no, she screamed, hiding under the bedclothes. Bedclothes refers to the sheets, the top sheets that you cover yourself with when you are sleeping. Now, Kezia's father told her that he would beat her with a ruler. Oh my God. And Kezia was so scared that she tried to hide under the sheets. He pulled them aside. "Sit up," he ordered, "and hold out your hands. You must be taught once for all not to touch what does not belong to you." Now here we come to know why Kezia's father is being strict with her. Why is he punishing her? Because he wants Kezia to know this thing once for all, that she should not touch that thing that does not belong to her. He wants to teach her this thing so that it benefits her in her future life. Right now she is a small child. She does not know what is important, what is not important, and that is why unknowingly she has torn the important document of her father. And so he is punishing her. He will beat her with a ruler. He does not want to harm Kezia, but he wants that Kezia should know that in future she should not touch anything that does not belong to her. "But it was for your birthday." So Kezia is trying to explain her position. She is saying that I was preparing a birthday gift for you and I had to stuff it with something, and I just tore the pages to stuff them into the cushion. And she's trying to explain to him that, "Please Papa, excuse me, I was just preparing a birthday gift for you. I wanted to give you a surprise. I did not want to tear your important documents." But Kezia's father did not listen to her excuse. Down came the ruler on her little pink palms. Hours later, when the grandmother had wrapped her in a shawl and rocked her in the rocking chair, the child clung to her soft body. Clung means to attach yourself to something. Now, Kezia was so afraid she had got beating. Her father had hit her small little palms with a ruler. And many hours later, her grandmother wrapped her in a shawl and was trying to pacify her. She made her sit in her lap on a rocking chair and she was trying to put Kezia to sleep. And Kezia hung to her grandmother. And Kezia said, "What did God make fathers for?" She sobbed. So Kezia is still not comfortable. She is crying and she said that God should not have made fathers. She hated her father because she is so innocent. She does not know what wrong she has done. She was just preparing a gift for him. And she says, "God should not make fathers. Here's a clean hanky, darling. Blow your nose. Go to sleep, pet. You'll forget all about it in the morning." I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. Now, Kezia's grandmother is trying to pacify her. She says that take this handkerchief, blow your nose in it and go to sleep. In the morning you will forget the beating that your father gave you. And then Kezia tries to explain. She says that I was trying to explain to him that why I tore the pages. I was preparing a gift for him, but he was not ready to listen to me. So again we see that the little child is so innocent. She's still not realizing why father has beaten her. But the child never forgot. Next time she saw him, she quickly put both hands behind her back and a red color flew into her cheeks. Now, Kezia's grandmother had told her that go to sleep. By morning you will forget the beating that your father has given to you. But Kezia never forgot the beating that she had got. Whenever she saw her father approaching, she would keep her hands behind her back because she felt that maybe he could hit her again. And a red color flew into her cheeks. Whenever she saw her father, she was so scared that her cheeks were flushed and They were full of red color because she got scared of him. The McDonalds lived next door. They had 5 children. Looking through a gap in the fence, the little girl saw them playing tag in the evening. The father with the baby Mao on his shoulders, 2 little girls hanging onto his coat pockets, ran round and round the flower beds, shaking with laughter. Once she saw the boys turn the hose on him, and he tried to catch them laughing all the time. Now here the writer tells us about Kezia's neighbors. Her neighbors was a family named McDonalds. In all, the McDonalds had 5 children, and Kezia would look at the family. Kezia would look through the gap, through a hole in the fence, that the family was having a lot of fun. They played a game called tag. Tag is a children's game of catching one another, like we play catch. So all the children along with their father would have a lot of fun. Kezia saw that they would play catch in the evening. Mr. McDonald would hold his little baby Mao on his shoulders. So he would make the baby sit on his shoulders. And the 2 little girls that he had, they would hang onto his coat pockets. So all the children were so much attached to their father. They loved him so much that they would stick to him. And then they would run all around the garden, around the flower beds, and they would laugh and laugh and laugh. So Kezia also wanted to have such fun with her father, and she missed it. And one day she saw that the little boys, the sons of Mr. McDonald, opened the hose on him. They opened the water pipe and tried to make him wet. But Mr. McDonald was not angry with them. He tried to catch them and he was laughing. This was very strange for Kezia because her father was just the opposite of Mr. McDonald. Then she decided there were different sorts of fathers. Now when Kezia saw Mr. McDonald, she realized that he was quite opposite to her father, and she felt that God had made various kinds of fathers. Suddenly one day, mother became ill and she and grandmother went to hospital. Now one day, Kezia's mother became ill, so she was taken to the hospital and the grandmother also went along with her. So Kezia was left alone at home with her father. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice, the cook. That was all right in the daytime, but while Alice was putting her to bed, she grew suddenly afraid. Now Kezia was all alone at home with the cook. The name of the cook is Alice. Now Kezia was fine during the day, but at night, when the cook put Kezia to bed all alone, Kezia started feeling afraid. What will I do if I have a nightmare? Nightmare means a bad dream. Kezia asked Alice that if she had a bad dream, what would she do all alone? I often have nightmares and then Granny takes me into her bed. I can't stay in the dark. It all gets whispery. Now Kezia explained to Alice that whenever she had nightmares, she would go to her grandmother and she would sleep with her. So she said that she could not stay all alone in the dark because she would feel scared. She could hear different kinds of whispering sounds which made her feel that there was someone around her. You just go to sleep, child, said Alice, pulling off her socks. And don't you scream and wake your poor pa. So Kezia's father was sleeping in the next room and Alice told Kezia to sleep quietly. She removed Kezia's socks and she told Kezia not to scream. She warned her that don't scream and wake your father. But Kezia was helpless. The same old nightmare came. The butcher with a knife and a rope who came nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful smile, while she could not move, could only stand still, crying out, "Grandma, Grandma!" She woke shivering to see father beside her bed, a candle in his. Now this is the nightmare that Kezia had often. She would see a butcher. A butcher is a person who cuts animals, who cuts meat. So this butcher would hold a big knife, a huge butcher's knife and a rope, and he would approach Kezia, and he would have a dreadful, awful smile on his face. And once Kezia would see him, she would feel that she is unable to move. She was so much scared of him. She was terrified to see this butcher. And in her sleep, Kezia was crying out for help. She was calling for her grandmother. And when Kezia woke up, she was shivering, she was trembling, and she saw that her father was standing next to her bed and he was holding a candle in his hand. So Kezia's father had heard her screams. He had heard that Kezia was calling for her grandmother and he had come to help her out. "What's the matter?" he said. Now he asked Kezia that what was the matter, why was she screaming? Kezia replied, "Oh, a butcher, a knife, I want Granny." Now Kezia is still scared. She's still scared of the nightmare and she tells that there was a butcher, he was holding a dreadful knife and she wanted her grandmother. He blew out the candle, bent down and caught up the child in his arms, carrying her along the passage to the big bedroom. So here we can see the affection that Kezia's father has for her. He blew the candle off, he lifted her and carried her to his bedroom. A newspaper was on the bed. He put away the paper, then carefully tucked up the child. Tucked up means covered up nicely in bed. So Kezia's father lay her in his bed next to him and covered her with the top sheets. He lay down beside her, half asleep still with a butcher's smile all about her, it seemed. She crept close to him, snuggled her head under his arm, held tightly to his shirt. Snuggled means moved into a warm, comfortable position close to another person. Now Kezia can also feel her father's affection, and so she went close to him. She snuggled herself towards her father and she held his shirt tightly so that she would not feel scared again. And now Kezia had overcome her fear for her father. Then the dark did not matter. She lay still. Now once Kezia was with her father, she was no longer afraid of the darkness. "Here, rub your feet against my legs and get them warm," said father. He told to Kezia that you can rub your feet against my legs so that they get warm. Tired out, he slept before the little girl. Now as Kezia's father was very tired, he slept before she did. A funny feeling came over her. Poor father, not so big after all, and with no one to look after him. He was harder than grandmother, but it was a nice hardness. And every day he had to work and was too tired to be a Mr. MacDonald. She had torn up all his beautiful writing. She stirred suddenly and sighed. Now here Kezia is realizing her mistake and she is feeling affection towards her father. She feels that her father was a poor man. He worked so hard. He was not so big as she found him to be earlier. Now she felt that her father was a poor man who worked very hard, and so he got so tired that he went off to sleep and he did not play with her like Mr. MacDonald did with his children. But Kezia felt that her father was also full of love for her. And then Kezia also realized her mistake. She realized that she had torn up his important document, the speech that he had written, and all this realization made Kezia sigh. She realized that she had been wrong, and that is why her father had beaten her. He had been so strict with her. "What's the matter?" asked her father. "Another dream?" Now, Kezia's father, although he was asleep, he heard her sigh. He heard the sound that Kezia made, and he asked her what was the matter. Was she again watching a bad dream? "Oh," said the little girl, "my head's on your heart. I can hear it going. What a big heart you've got, father dear." So Kezia replied to her father that she had placed her head on her father's heart and she could hear his heartbeat, and she complimented her father that he had a big heart. So Kezia is showing her love to her father as she has realized that her father also loves her. So with this we have completed the explanation of this chapter, The Little Girl.
We will discuss the question answers of the same lesson in our next video. Till then, read this lesson again and try to find out some question answers yourself. Thank you, class.